Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. Welcome, friends, to this Sunday morning guided meditation at the Dhamma-Darini in California. We have been speaking about the calm and pure meditation, which is boundless and without limits, as a factor that can cause the mind and heart to calm down and come to stillness. We've been talking over the past week or two about the difficulties and challenges of living as the type of being here in the realm of desire, the realm of sensual desire, which in Pali is called kama loka. Kama means desire. And I especially associate that with emotional reactions because when different emotions arise, we feel them in the body. And it actually can affect our hearing and our seeing and our sense of smell. And all of our senses are very strongly affected when emotions arise. So then we were thinking of different ways to somewhat detach from that reactivity in order to come to stillness. Last week we talked about the elements meditation as one way of beginning to make the mind detach from reactivity and become more calm, cool, still. So this morning I'd like to think about the wisdom meditation, particularly looking at what we experience in terms of impermanence and not self. So whatever we experience, you could say it's not personal. Whatever we think, it's not personal. Whatever arises as a distraction or a diversion of the mind, or if anything arises as a kind of obsession or a compulsion of the mind, if one is trying to meditate and some thought or feeling comes in and it's difficult to shake it off, the mind becomes trapped there. So one way of detaching is simply to remember, I am not this. I am not this thought. I am not this feeling. I am not this opinion. This thought, this feeling, this opinion doesn't belong to me. It's arising from causes and conditions. It's not personal. And with that preliminary contemplation, the heart can be cool and open, able to notice what arises as if from a distance, so that one can see very clearly. My medical office sent me some glasses. I had cataract surgery a few months ago. I can see you really great, but things in the far distance, not so good. So they gave me some glasses. So now I can see things at a great distance very clearly, like the horizon, or if there's some kind of a sign with some writing that's at a great distance, or the stars or the features of the moon and so forth. I can see them clearly now. So this should be how it is for you when the heart becomes cool and detached. You're able to see clearly, able to notice clearly, but it doesn't make you get shaken up or disturbed any more than the mountains of the moon caused you to be shaken up or disturbed. So for that, with that preliminary reflection, let's sit together in meditation. Coming to an upright and balanced posture. Arranging the hands and the legs in a way that's stable and as comfortable as possible, with just enough energy to stay upright. Aware of the weight of the body, connecting with the cushion or with the floor, with the earth element, like the body is sinking into the earth, the way the roots of a tree sink down into the ground. And the torso of the body is upright and balanced, like the trunk of a tree. There's a subtle energy lifting upwards, like the way the branches or the leaves of the tree face towards the sun. And keeping that structure of balance, allowing the soft parts of the body to relax, the way the fruit is hanging from the tree. Letting the shoulders relax, letting the arms relax, letting the belly relax. Aware of the sensations in the body. Aware of this breath rising and falling, the gentle movement of the breath. Letting the entire body be filled and pervaded by breath, the energy of the breath touching every part of the body. And aware of the breath outside the body, all the movements of nature, the breathing of all the creatures. The whole universe is breathing. As one is breathing internally, the breath is happening outside, inside and outside, just breathing. the movement of the breath, surrounded by boundless space. Resting in that emptiness, any particular thought, any particular sensation, any particular movement of the breath is not personal, arising and disappearing within that boundless space. Every movement of sensation, every movement of breath, seen so clear within that boundless space. Every small movement is so clear, so noticeable. aware of space within and space outside. And then bringing up the thought of the divine abidings, filling the boundless space with the thought of kindness, free of anger. Aware of the boundless space within us and outside. Feeling and pervading the boundless space with the thought of compassion, free of affliction. aware of the boundless space within us and outside, feeling the space, filling the boundless space with the thought of appreciative joy, free of discontent, full of appreciation, free of discontent. And aware of the boundless space within and outside, filling up the entire space with the thought of equanimity, balanced seeing of everything exactly how it is. boundless space, equanimity, appreciative joy, compassion, loving kindness, movement of the breath, sensation of breath in the body, the material body, feeling connected to the earth element on the floor or the cushion. And gently coming out of this meditation. Dear friends, our theme for this coming week is connected with seeing not self in the five khandhas and trying to think about cultivating that perception or the insight, the wisdom, as something that can be like a wholesome factor that can be brought into being. It can be aroused, and then once that insight is present, it can be stabilized and developed and cultivated and caused to become continuous. It's sort of like similar to the way if somebody is practicing with any theme of meditation. It could be the breath or it could be loving kindness. Let's suppose it's loving kindness, that one brings up the thought of loving kindness and then try to stabilize it, allow it to become a pervasive factor in the mind, frequently coming back again and again to bring out that thought of kindness and to, it's like there's a meeting, like whatever is happening for us in the moment is met with loving kindness. And so then meeting the moment with kindness again and again, repeatedly, until it becomes very habitual, very pervasive, well established. And then when it's habitual, then as it's developed, then it begins to inform everything. And so a similar kind of style of an approach can be used with the wisdom idea. So having the perception of impermanence and non-self can remember from time to time whatever is happening, to remember, is this permanent or impermanent? You notice, oh, it's impermanent. So in the meditation about the breath, the movement, the breath is about movement. So the breath element is a very easy way to bring the mind to seeing the constant impermanence. The breath is always moving, impermanence is always happening. And then the impersonal aspect, that non-self aspect, also is something that it can be reflected and pondered about, or else it could be simply like noticed in an instant when something happens. We encounter something, anything in our life, and then if we've been training the mind to have that awareness about impermanence and non-self, that's two aspects of the same thing, then you would just see it quickly, easily, almost like automatically. You would see, oh, it's not personal. What's arising for me right now is not personal. It's impermanent. It's changing. And not personal. And so then that perception can be cultivated and developed until it becomes stabilized and continuous and pervasive. So then it informs everything. So depending on what we are trying to do to develop our practice, it's possible that different Dhamma themes that we've learned about could be a theme that's developed in this way. So on the cushion, making the effort, seeing whether it's possible to keep the mind in awareness of an aspect of the Dhamma during meditation, and then coming off the cushion and going into everyday life and having different experiences and meetings with people. Then see if it's possible that the perception that was developed in meditation can be brought into life, into the various experiences and things that happen for us. And then as it develops with that encounter of the Buddhist insight, encountering the actual experiences we're having moment by moment, day by day, in all the postures. So then there comes to be a kind of a deep integration or some kind of a synthesis of that wisdom, that it's not just a little nugget of wisdom that you could file on the bookshelf together with your other books, but instead that the wisdom is something that informs everything. I would welcome any questions or comments about how this style of meditation is for you. And if you don't have a question, you may give a report. Or if you don't have a question or a report, you may give a blessing. Okay, I'll call on Maureen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I always think of compassion as being aware of the karma that brought you to this current place. And I can't remember what you said compassion was free from. It's that idea that it's impermanent, and it's one of it's conditioned. Whatever you're experiencing is a conditioned experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. Anyway, that was just my comment on it.
The word I mentioned connected to compassion is affliction. So one who is compassionate will not hurt. It will not harm. Not do any harm to anybody. Not give hurt to anybody. And if you see with wisdom, how could it even come into the mind to cause a harm, to cause a hurt? If you see that everything is conditioned and impermanent and just arising from causes and conditions, then there's not anything to defend, not anything to be upset about, and no reason to do any hurt. Is this matching what you were reflecting on, Maureen?
It's connected, but not quite. Yeah. It's just that you can have compassion for somebody. It's their karma that brought them to that position, and you can have compassion for yourself because it's your own karma that you've committed in the past that's brought you to that position. But
Right.
yeah. Yes. No, so you don't want to harm yourself, you don't want to harm others by the karma that you're creating in the present moment.
Yeah.
That's what it leads you to.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Reflecting about the karma, one way of making that big space view of karma is reflecting about the billions and billions and billions of choices that are made by people and by beings throughout time. And every choice has its result, but then there's an accumulation of so many little choices that's got the cumulative effect. But also, we've got the freedom right now. We have the possibility of choosing. So one can choose not to harm. One can choose kindness. One can choose wisdom. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll call in Patipada. Sorry I didn't see you a couple days ago when you came for
Well,
me for a minute.
that's quite all right. The environment is what it is. This meditation, it it appeals to me in that I think it would make a wonderful meditation for death contemplation. In November, when the group does the contemplation on death, this seems to be um, just on point about when one is dying, to recognize and acknowledge that there is no me, there is no I, there is no mine. So any fear, any lingering thoughts about attachment can actually disappear when one contemplates on the fact that there is no me, I, or mine. And nothing in life is really personal.
Yeah.
So that is what came to mind for me, that this would be a very, very, very powerful meditation for death contemplation. And also, moment to moment, I understand what Maureen was saying. It's important to be able to observe what's arising, and as it's arising, how it changes, and as it changes, how it dissolves.
Yeah.
Because that living practice is one of the best that I could recommend for avoiding attachment to the condition. Because when the trigger arises, then instead of having the thoughts spin out, observe the trigger and recognize the trigger is attached to a past memory. So everything that's occurring is attached to a past incident or memory. There is absolutely nothing to hurt someone when an individual is expressing their own hurt through their own words and through their own pain. If we can just use the filter that nothing is personal that you guided us through, it can really neutralize and have compassion arise for the being in our presence simply expressing what they are experiencing. So
Thank you.
thank you for this. This was very powerful for me.
Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you have framed it in terms of death awareness and how if we forget, if we lose our stability and spaciousness of the mind, it's because something has come up and we've started to clutch and it's something. Oh, don't let it change. I can't let this change. It's changing. Stop changing. And so then but somehow then bringing out that space element, that makes, like, if we stop gripping and become spacious, then it's easier to see that both things are happening like together, letting go and becoming spacious and being spacious and being able to see. Yeah. Right? Right. Thank you. Okay, I shall call on Amber.
Hello, Ayya. Thank you for your guided meditation today. I feel very blessed to be here. I wanted to appreciate your simple mantra of it's not personal. And so simple but so powerful for the non-self. And I work in recovery with people with addiction and alcoholism, and they are coming out of, hopefully, like the strongest form of cycle of samsara, the strongest attachment and the deepest suffering because of course, in turn for them from the attachment. And I want to take that phrase to them in their meditation. It's not personal. And hopefully that, to help to break from self. And even if they're not in our path, they're not on the Buddhist path, it might help break the self from them. Yeah, that might really help them. And, they might not be on the Buddhist path yet. That might even lead to them realizing or getting on that in that way, hopefully, or they might hear more. Also, obviously, bringing kindness to the moment, and that will help them develop the compassion for themselves, and then in turn they can bring that to others, so that will bring them the compassion. Yeah, so thank you for that. I think it's going to help a lot with even if they don't they don't really understand it, it might bring a lot of relief of suffering for these people at, like I said, at the most extreme level of attachment or coming out of. So thank you.
I'd like to give credit where credit is due. The expression, it's not personal, was given to me by Diane Sherman, the past member of this group who passed away a couple of years ago. Diane was a really great, dedicated practitioner who was fully committed to the Dhamma. And it was just, it's just a different way of expressing the idea that comes across very easily. And it also comes across to people who are not yet educated in Buddhism, but they can just say, oh yeah, right, it's not really personal, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's kind of exactly that. Even one who's not with our community, that they've already heard the phrase, it's not personal. They might have heard that in passing, so they could, oh yeah, I've heard that, okay, and then they don't realize what they're tuning into, just breaking from that, all the labeling of self. And then they might not know it, but they can be a little comfortable because they've probably heard the phrase before. So thank you for your teacher also that helped us with that.
Okay. Well, we've come to the end of another wonderful hour of Sunday morning. And this is a good time to give a respect and veneration for the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. the Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed one. I render homage to the Buddha, the Blessed One. The teachings so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha.
Thank you, Ayya. Very helpful.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, everybody.